back to the Compliance Kitchen. Today is a quick recap of some of the more interesting developments for 2021, or at least what I thought that was interesting or noteworthy. Of course, there was a lot going on throughout the year, but I think that it is worth mentioning Afghanistan, the whole takeover of the government there by Taliban, which caused all kinds of questions and challenges for sanctions practitioners and those doing business with Afghanistan, and also various NGOs and humanitarian organizations when effectively the government is run by people who are mentioned or listed on various sanctions lists of the UN, the EU, the UK, and of course the US as well. The Treasury issued a license to allow humanitarian aid to continue to flow to Afghanistan. This was back in September. Also, OFSI, the UK's OFSI, issued sanctions guidance specifically around Afghanistan for NGOs. So if you are dealing with this country, this is probably a topic that you will continue to follow closely, as Afghanistan is now, in a way, basically a sanctioned country. So we had various developments with Belarus, sanctions on Russia, the Nord Stream 2. There's been quite a bit going on with China due to the forced labor practices, and the State Department issuing a business advisory to supply chains in regards to the forced labor in the Xinjiang region of China. Also, there was the introduction of the non-SDN Chinese military industrial complex companies list, which replaced the Communist Chinese military company list from the prior administration. So this was an expansion of restrictions on dealing with Chinese companies that are not just in the military, but also military industrial complex. So for those that are doing business with China, this is probably an area that warrants close attention. We had the EU Blocking Statute pop up on the radar. There is that lawsuit of Bank Melli Iran versus Telekom Deutschland that came before the Court of Justice of the European Union. This had to do with the application of the EU Blocking Statute regulation and the US extraterritorial or secondary sanctions on Iran. This also generated a written opinion from the European Advocate General, and the EU decided to amend the blocking statute. They opened a comment window back in August for public comments on this initiative. So again, if you're in the area of sanctions and extraterritorial sanctions, you're probably very familiar with the blocking statute, so you're probably following these developments as well. Then we had the ransomware attacks, Colonial Pipeline and others that occurred in 2021, and many of these ransom demands were paid in virtual currencies or cryptocurrencies. So we did have a guidance come from OFAC for virtual currency industry, and Treasury also was targeting ransomware and the players behind these illegal activities. Finally, I think that what is worthy of a little bit of our time is the EU Whistleblower Protection Directive that is now in effect since December 16th. So if you are doing business in the EU or have offices in the EU member states, you probably want to take a close look at the directive, and in particular the specifics that each EU member state is working through currently as far as the applicability, the different reporting channels that you will have to have in place for your whistleblowers, as well as company obligations on reporting or on reacting or not on anonymous whistleblower reports. There's also a variety of civil and criminal penalties, again, depending on each individual member state. So, again, if you are doing business in that area, I recommend taking a closer look at that, as that is still currently developing for each member state. However, the overarching directive is in effect as we speak. So that's it for my quick update of what kind of stuck with me throughout the 2021. And thank you, as always, for coming by to the Compliance Kitchen. And hopefully I will have you in the next year as well.